Comment on the significance of the title of Sons and Lovers. Marks 10-12. Answer. D. H. Lawrence's novel, Sons and Lovers, is a Bildungsroman thematically linked to the Freudian idea of Oedipus complex. The initial title of the novel was Paul Morel until the novel's publication in 1913. By the time he was working on the final stages of Sons and Lovers, he became aware of Freudian psychoanalysis. The change in the title in 1913 might have been possible, probably due to the influence of his new knowledge. The first part of the novel builds up the Oedipal drama in which Mr. Morel and his wife wage a battle for the psychological control over their children. Mr. Morel's brutality against his wife, especially when he comes home drunk, makes her feel buried alive in her conjugal life. Mrs. Morel transforms all her love and hopes onto her sons. Here is the first problematization in Oedipus complex presented by Lawrence. The relationship here is reciprocal where the mother too deeply loves her sons. The theme of the novel, which is latent right in the title, can be elaborated as, mother's domination on her sons causes the sons' relationship with their lovers unsuccessful. Mrs. Morel goes into paroxysm of jealousy when William, her first son, receives love letters from young girls, and burns them before he leaves to take up a job in London. Mrs. Morel is further disappointed and William courts a girl in London. William brings her to his family and his mother takes an immediate disliking for the girl. This is possibly due to the reason that she sees the girl's beauty as a competition for her own. After the premature demise of William, it is the second child Paul with whom Mrs. Morel becomes spiritually one, each being the supreme love object for each other. Lawrence writes several scenes between the two that go beyond the bonds of conventional mother-son love. The readers find them kissing, hugging, and chatting very emotionally like true romantic lovers at several points. It turns out that the presence of his mother figure is all prevalent and thus, it becomes difficult for him to forge any meaningful relationship with any woman. Paul's first attempt is with Miriam, but Mrs. Morel forces him to cloak his relationship as that of friends. Paul feels torn between Miriam and his mother and resents Miriam because she makes his mother suffer. When he tries to confess his love for Miriam to his mother, she hugs him, cries, and expresses her animosity toward Miriam, who she believes will take Paul away from her. Her interaction with Paul is full of intimate physical contact. She even says, "I've never had a husband, not really." Paul next takes on Clara Dawes, a middle-aged married woman, who has been separated from her husband for years. Mrs. Morel gets on pretty well with Clara due to the reason that she does not see a rival in Clara like she did in Miriam. However, Paul gets into a brawl with Clara's husband and the former beats the latter. This is considered to be his repressed energy of eliminating his father coming onto his surface. Later he makes truce with ailing Baxter Dawes and it can be interpreted as his guilt operating for killing his father figure. His relationship with Clara also ends as she cannot promise marriage to Paul and hence he has to leave her too. Paul confesses to his mother that he will never meet the right woman while she is alive. This is quite prophetic. Not only does Paul never forge any relationship, his future also remains bleak. At the end of the novel, Paul takes a major step in releasing himself from his Oedipus complex. He intentionally overdoses his dying mother with morphia, an act that reduces her suffering but also subverts his Oedipal fate, since he does not kill his father, but his mother. Paul visits Mrs. Morel's body again at night, and his near-necrophiliac kissing and stroking reveal his pent-up desires. So we can agree that the title of the novel is apt and appropriate. Finished. Thank you for watching the video. Please subscribe, like and comment.